I want you to write this down, please. Success is predictable, and so are your relationships. Your future is not a mystery. Your relationships are the map. I got news for you. If you want to forecast your altitude, don't consult the weather, audit your company. Say this with me, loud and strong. I choose my company on purpose. Again, I choose my company on purpose. Are there eagles in this room? Then shout it so the pigeons can hear you in their little crowded square. I choose my company on purpose. Write this down. You become just like those you associate with. So stop nesting with pigeons. Proverbs 13:20 says, he that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. That's not a suggestion, that's a law. And 1 Corinthians 15:33 confronts us. Do not be deceived. Evil company corrupts good character. Your Creator installed a proximity principle in your design. Association is formation. Company is curriculum. Proximity is prophecy. Predictable outcomes emerge from predictable environments. Seeds do not argue with soil. They simply become what the soil allows. If the soil is gossip, you sprout small. If the soil is vision, discipline, and fear of the Lord, you break the surface and kiss the sun. Let me wake you up with a cemetery visit without leaving your chair. The wealthiest spot on this planet is not the diamond mines of South Africa, not the oil fields of the Middle East, not the banks of Zurich. The wealthiest spot is the cemetery, where dreams that were never protected by boundaries lie silent, where books that were never written because friends laughed them off are buried, where businesses that needed one courageous circle never took breath. Do not add to it. Here, Amos 3:3. Can two walk together except they be agreed? Agreement decides direction. Direction decides destination. Destination decides legacy. If your company agrees with your excuses, it is escorting you to the grave with your gift still sealed. Give yourself a hand for being here, because today we install a filter. Consider me your Papa Eagle for a moment. I love you enough to be confrontational. I am going to give you, in this session, a clear eagle versus pigeon lens, so you can audit, prune, and elevate your circle today. Not tomorrow, today. We will name what belongs near you and what must never sit in your nest again. We will replace accidental company with covenant company. Convenience, friends, with calling partners. Write this down. Elevation is engineered, not imagined. Your friends are ladders or lids. Say it again with authority. I choose my company on purpose. This is our opening mandate. Refuse randomness. Embrace law. If you want a different harvest, change the field. If you want a different future, change the flock. Eagles, join me at the top. We start by choosing who is allowed to climb. Write this down, please. Proximity is a law, not a preference. The one who made you embedded laws into creation that don't negotiate with your feelings. In Genesis it says, let every seed produce after its kind. Write that down. After its kind. Design determines destiny. The fish is designed for water. Resist that design and you suffocate. The seed is designed for soil. Resist that design and you stay hard, dry, unrealized. You are designed for agreement with purpose, and the environment called your relationships is your soil. No one beats a law. You only align with it or you are broken by it. I got news for you. The Creator did not leave this to guesswork. He likens himself to an eagle. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. Isaiah 40:31. If the Creator says he is like an eagle, then study the eagle to study intention. Eagles choose altitude by choosing proximity. They nest high. They mate on cliffs. They train above the noise. Location is not vanity. It is vocation. Position is not ego. It is ecology. Where you sit decides what you see, and what you see decides what you seek. Everybody say with me right now, it's not personal, it's principle. Again, it's not personal, it's principle. This is not hatred, this is hygiene. Psalm 1 opens the entire songbook of Israel by proximity law. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Walk, stand, sit progressive proximity. Counsel becomes conduct. Seating becomes status. You don't even have to try. The law will work on you anyway. Scientists tell us your brain is plastic, neuroplasticity, and that what you consistently watch, hear, and sit with rewires your norm and your next. Mirror neurons, copy patterns before you give permission. Habits are contagious. Appetites are transferable. Sit with complainers and complaint becomes your mother tongue. Eat with disciplined builders and delayed gratification tastes like dessert. Even your stress chemistry traffics in association. Drama partners keep your cortisol high, and high cortisol collapses vision. But sit with peaceable, purposeful people, and your nervous system learns to glide, not flap in the storm. Write this down. Principle over personality. You can love people you cannot sit with. Jesus loved the multitudes, but chose 12. Within the 12, he took 3 up the mountain. Law. Amos 3:3 asked us already, can 2 walk together except they agree? Agreement is alignment. Alignment is altitude. Tell your neighbor if you got one. If I change my circle, I change my cycle. Say it again. If I change my circle, I change my cycle. So hear me like a father. Stop making your destiny a customer of someone else's comfort. The law of proximity is working even while you sleep. Respect it and you rise. Violate it and you sink. Choose your elevation by choosing your environment, because your design is begging for the right air. And eagles, only in the right air do your wings make sense. Now that you understand law, let's settle identity. Write this down. Choose your species. Choose your future. Your life will always rise or rot to the level of your identity. Proverbs 23:7 says, as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. What you call yourself, you will become. What you tolerate, you will inherit. Are there eagles in this room? Then I'm calling you up. Leave the ranks of the pigeons and join me at the top. Eagles fly alone. Pigeons flock and peck. Ducks quack and complain. Vultures feed on what's dead. That's not poetry. That's prophecy about behavior. If all your conversations are crumbs and complaints and yesterday's carcasses, you don't have an income problem. You have a species problem. Romans 12:2 says, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Identity first, altitude next. Standards must precede stature. Hear me. You don't wait for a crown to act like royalty. You install a code and the crown comes looking for you. Write this down, please. Your dress, your speech, your schedule, and your standards signal your species to the world. Eagles dress for altitude, clean, intentional, excellent, not to impress, but to express assignment. Pigeons dress for the square. Ducks for the puddle. Vultures don't bother. They're too busy circling old news. Eagles speak vision, brevity, clarity. Pigeons chatter. Ducks crack blame. Vultures gossip, autopsies. Eagles schedule dawn and discipline. Pigeons schedule convenience. Ducks schedule complaint breaks. Vultures schedule nothing. They just wait for something to die so they can eat. Your wardrobe is a whisper. Your words are a banner. Your calendar is a covenant. If you're always late, you're telling the world your destiny can wait. If you keep company with mockers, you're telling heaven you can manage disrespect. What you tolerate, you will inherit. Everybody say with me, imprint this in your bones. Eagles are not distracted by pigeons. Say it again louder. Eagles are not distracted by pigeons. One more time for your future. Eagles are not distracted by pigeons. You do not have time to answer every quack, peck back at every poke, or circle the dead with vultures who make a living off yesterday. Lift your mind. Colossians 3:2 says, set your affection on things above. Set, not feel. Set is a decision. You choose altitude before you experience altitude. I got news for you. Your identity is a thermostat, not a thermometer. Set it high and your habits heat up to meet it. So install it now. Start speaking eagle. I honor time. I train daily. I feed on live ideas, not dead gossip. I refuse complaint as a language. I don't explain excellence. I embody it. Change your uniform. Change your utterance. Change your use of hours and watch your life answer your new name. Give yourself a hand for deciding right now. Say it with me. I am an eagle. I leave the ranks of the pigeons. I choose the top. And because I choose the top, I will permit only what protects my flight. Your standards just went ahead of your stature. Your name is pulling your future upward. Now prepare, because every true eagle learns to test before they trust. Write this down, please, because your future depends on it. Trust is not a gift. Trust is a graduation. Access follows evidence, not emotion. Proverbs 4:23 says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. If your heart is an airport, stop handing out boarding passes without security checks. I love people, but I test patterns. I care deeply, but I confirm data. Are there eagles in this room? Then say it with me. Test before I trust. Filter 1, the vision test. Do they magnify your vision or mock it? Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain. When you unveil what you wrote, watch their eyes. Eagles lean in, ask by when, and what's the next measurable step? Pigeons cock their head and say, who you think you are. Write this down. Alignment before assignment. Never hire, date, or partner on chemistry that contradicts your calling. If your vision is to build and their recreation is to belittle, your tomorrow is already in trouble. Say it. I refuse to employ mockers as mentors. Filter 2, the values test. Integrity over intimacy. Time and truth reveal character. Matthew 7:20 declares, by their fruits you shall know them, not by their flair, not by their feed, by their fruit. Give it time. If they cheat others, you are not the exception. You are next. If they hide receipts, twist stories, blur lines, your destiny is not a laboratory for experiments in ethics. Proverbs 10:9 says, whoever walks in integrity walks securely. Write this down. Consistency is the only certificate for character. Sleep on it. Watch how they treat waiters, subordinates, spouses, and strangers. Your future children are affected by who you let sit close today. Filter 3, the appetite test. Do they serve you live food or dead meat? Eagles feed fresh prey to the nest. Ideas, discipline, faith, skill. Vultures circle cadavers, gossip, nostalgia, vice. Luke 6:45 says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Audit their menu, podcast or petty talk, plans or problems, prayer or poison. If every meeting becomes a morgue report, your spirit will start smelling like yesterday. Write this down. My diet decides my destiny. Say it. I will not dine on dead things. Filter 4, the altitude test. Do they lift your thinking or lower your ceiling? Iron sharpens iron, Proverbs 27:17. When you fall, do they dive under you or discuss you? The faster you fall, the faster they must fly. If you announce a standard, do they raise theirs or ridicule yours? Eagles provoke excellence by presence, not pressure. If you leave their company lighter, clearer, braver, that is lift. If you leave smaller, confused, apologizing for being serious, that is drag. Say it with me. I choose lift over drag. Filter 5, the storm test. Courage is verified by crisis. Under pressure, do they panic, peck, or glide? Proverbs 17:17 says, a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. In the squall, pigeons scatter, ducks complain, vultures circle, but eagles tilt their wings and ride the current higher. Watch them. When the deal falls through, when the diagnosis comes, when the rumor hits, do they anchor you in faith, facts, and forward motion, or do they feed your fear? Write this down. Storms certify companionship. Now action. Take out your pen. Write 5 names who presently have access to your heart and your hours. Run each one through the 5 filters. Vision, values, appetite, altitude, storm. Circle the eagles. Flag the pigeons. And then enforce access according to evidence. Promote the circled. Demote the flagged. Schedule 1 clarifying conversation this week. 1 boundary reset. 1 new standard announced. This is not hatred. This is hygiene. 1 Corinthians 16:13 says, watch ye, stand fast in the faith. Quit you like men. Be strong. Say it loud. I will watch. I will test. I will guard. I will rise. Because trust must be earned through test and my gates will open only for those who help me fly. Write this down, please. Toleration is a contract. What you permit, you promote. What you allow, you will one day apologize for. What you excuse, you eventually experience as your new normal. Your tolerations are writing your future. Change the contract, change the outcome. I love you enough to be direct. Love everyone, give access to few. Proximity is a privilege, not a birthright. Jesus loved the multitudes, but he mentored 12 and only took 3 to the mountain. That is not arrogance. That is assignment management. Nehemiah said to the distractors, I am doing a great work so that I cannot come down. Nehemiah 6:3. Write that on your phone. I cannot come down. Everybody say this with me. As a policy, not an apology, be cautious about the people who keep company with me. Again, like you mean it, be cautious about the people who keep company with me. One more time for the contract department of your destiny. Be cautious about the people who keep company with me. Why? Because boundaries are not meanness. Boundaries are mathematics. If you give your minutes to mediocrity, excellence will lack minutes. If you give your mind to mockers, clarity will lack oxygen. Ephesians 4:27 says, neither give place to the devil. Place is proximity. Place is access. Place is a seat. Don't rent out your front row to those who clap for your confusion. Either or time. Approvals or altitude, choose. Comfort or calling, choose. Company or completion, choose. You cannot keep every old comfort and reach a new completion. Amos 3:3 already asks us, can two walk together except they agree? Agreement is a contract. So rewrite it. Write this down. Standards are not walls, they are runways for those willing to fly. The right people do not resent standards. They rejoice because standards certify safety and speed. Gates do not stop eagles, they stop foxes. Curfews don't hinder pilots, they protect flights. Now, I want to hand you language because kings rule by decrees, not apologies. Replace apologies with policy. Say it out loud. I don't do that. That's not my room. Access has changed. Say it again. Put steel in your spine. I don't do that. That's not my room. Access has changed. Matthew 7:6 says, do not give that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast your pearls before swine. Your time is holy. Your mind is a pearl. Policies protect pearls. From today, your calendar is no longer community property. Your phone is not a public park. Your peace is not a group project. Practical steps, starting now. Remove the open door where disrespect keeps walking in. Promote clarity to the front row and demote confusion to the balcony. Convert maybe meetings into no thank you. Install office hours for access and sacred hours for building. Proverbs 22:24 says, make no friendship with an angry man. That is a boundary verse. This is not hatred. This is hygiene. So lift your hand like you're signing a covenant and declare, I change my contract today. I choose altitude over approval, calling over comfort, completion over company. Be cautious about the people who keep company with me. My standards are not walls. They are runways. And those who are willing to fly are welcome to board. Access has changed. My agreements have changed. And therefore my outcome will change. Write this down, please. Discomfort is not punishment. It's your launch sequence. Consider me Mama Eagle today. I love you enough to disturb your nest. Deuteronomy 32:11 says, as an eagle stirreth up her nest, fluttereth over her young, spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh them, beareth them on her wings. Why does she stir it? Because a comfortable nest produces crippled wings. She lines it soft at first, feathers, wool, worn down, and when the eagle is confused comfort with calling, she turns the comfort inside out and the thorns begin to prick. That prick is not cruelty, it is curriculum. Some of you came here because your job is nothing but thorns. Right now, politics are pricking you. Ceilings are poking you. Stagnation is scratching your back. Some of you, your group chat has become a cactus. Every ping is a prick. Nothing but old gossip and new distractions. Some of you, your own habits have needles, late nights with no purpose, endless scrolling, cheap talk that leaves you empty and your bleeding potential. Hear me like a father. Those are messages from heaven saying, fly now. Tell your neighbor, say with authority, the thorns are a gift. Again, louder. The thorns are a gift. Pain is a platform. The push is a prophecy. The fall is a classroom. The faster it hurts, the faster you must spread your wings. Mama Eagle does something shocking. She lifts that trembling eaglet and drops him. The ground rushes up. Heart is racing. And just before bones meet rock, she swoops under, lifts him, and drops him again. Why, Mama? Because flight is not learned in the feather. It is learned in the fall. Romans 5:3 says, we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience. Pressure produces power. The faster you drop, the faster you discover you were designed for air. Everybody say it with me. Discomfort is my launch sequence. Again, discomfort is my launch sequence. One more time. Discomfort is my launch sequence. You asked God for wings. He answered with thorns. You asked for altitude. He answered with a push. Stop rebuking the push. Receive the lesson. Genesis 12:1. Get thee out of thy country, from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. Leave familiar soil for future sky. Exit precedes elevation. Now, practical exit. Write this down. Identify one comfort circle you will leave this week. Not next year, this week. Set a date within 7 days. Script the goodbyes so your courage doesn't need to improvise. Here is your script. I appreciate this season and what I learned here. My assignment requires new focus. Effective. Choose a date. I'll be stepping out of this group meeting, a routine to prioritize my vision. I wish you well. Send it. Then replace it. Schedule a new circle that matches your altitude, mentors, builders, disciplined peers. Ephesians 5:15-1-6 says, see then that ye walk circumspectly, redeeming the time. Redeem it by reseeding it. Lift your right hand and declare, the thorns are a gift. I will not waste my push. I embrace the fall to flight. I set my date. I send my script. I choose the air I was born for. And as I leave comfortable company, my wings remember their work. My life remembers its law, and I will rise. Write this down, please. Storms are not a sign you're off course. Storms are the classroom where eagles graduate. Matthew 5:45 says, he sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. Storms come to everybody, rich and poor, bishop and barista, CEO and student, but only eagles convert wind into wings. Psalm 104:3-4 says of God, he maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. If your father rides the wind, then his children should learn to do the same. With the right company, every storm becomes a staircase. Now hear me like a father. You don't need fewer storms. You need better storm partners. Choose associates who glide, not gripe, no quacking in the cockpit. Say that with me. No quacking in the cockpit. Again, no quacking in the cockpit. Pilots don't entertain panic in the flight deck. They open the checklist. Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpeneth iron, not foam soothe iron. In turbulence, true partners read instruments, facts, faith, and forward steps, while pigeons narrate doom. Select mentors and peers who, when the wind howls, tilt their wings and rise, who ask, what's the updraft here? What's the lift in this loss? James 1:2-4 says, count it all joy, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. That means there is work happening in the wind. Associate with those who can see the factory inside the squall. Write this down. Gossip embargo. Vultures bring carcasses. Refuse dead conversations. We solve it or we shelve it. Say it again like policy. We solve it or we shelve it. If a matter is not assigned to your stewardship, shelve it. If it is, solve it with honor, speed, and clarity. Romans 8:28 is not for rumor mills. It is for resolute builders. All things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. Purpose and gossip cannot share a table. Ban postmortems about people not present. Feed on live issues with living solutions, not on the rotten remains of someone's yesterday. Either or time. Discouragement or altitude. Choose. Fear soundtrack or flight plan. Choose. In this house, we practice a binary that becomes habit. When the deal collapses, the report is bad, the blog lies, either we spiral or we stair-step. Eagles stair-step. How? By turning storm data into disciplined action. Here is your micro habit. Write it down. A weekly storm debrief with an eagle. 30 minutes, same day and time. Calendar protected. 3 questions only. What happened? What did it teach? What is one altitude action before next meeting? 1, not 10. Install it this week. Text a builder, a mentor, a peer with scars and lift. Storm debrief, Thursday, 7 a.m., 30 minutes, 3 questions, no quacking. Track your staircase. Keep a simple log of storms faced and the single action taken. Hebrews 10:24 says, let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works. Provoke means push upward. Lift your right hand and declare, my storms will not sink me, they will serve me. I ban quacking from my cockpit. I enforce a gossip embargo. We solve it or we shelve it. I appoint storm partners who glide. I schedule my weekly debrief. And with the right company, every storm becomes my staircase. Write this down, please. Private renewal supplies the strength for public altitude. After the storm and the staircase, the true leader disappears. The eagle retreats to a high, hidden ledge. And there he begins the molting. He plucks old feathers that have grown heavy with oil and dust. He scrapes his beak against a rock until the dullness is gone. He sits in the thin air where the noise cannot climb. Why? Because yesterday's feathers cannot survive tomorrow's wind. Hear me like a father. Some of you are trying to fly with feathers from a former season. Stale relationships, tired routines, expired identities. Shed them. If you keep what God is calling you to pluck, you will sag when you should soar. Quiet place theology is not romance. It's regulation. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. Isaiah 40:31. Wait is not idle. Wait is alignment. Listen, recalibrate, receive. Jesus modeled it. In the morning, rising up a great while before day, he went out and there prayed. Mark 1:35. Write this down. My closet is my cockpit. Presence before platform. Silence before strategy. If you skip the mountain, you will flap where you are designed to glide. Now, an input audit. Trade amusement for assignment. Replace time wasters with live food books that stretch your mind, tapes and trainings that sharpen your skill, scripture that corrects your soul. Eagles feed fresh prey to the nest. Vultures recycle yesterday. Write this down. 90-day entertainment fast from what numbs my focus. 30-minute dawn reading scripture first, then 1 chapter from a builder's book, 1 hour each week of skills training, 1 hour of prayerful planning with a pen in hand. Say it with me. I feed on live food. Again, I feed on live food. One more time. I feed on live food. Your appetite creates your altitude. Molting also means shedding people-pleasing feathers. Unfollow the voices that make excellence feel arrogant. Unsubscribe from inboxes that sell distraction. Retire a title that is too small for your assignment. Release the label, I'm just a quiet one. I'm just a helper. I'm not a leader. Those are old feathers. Hebrews 12:1 says, lay aside every weight. Not just sin weight. Some weights are warm and familiar, but they are still weights. Write this down. Comfort can be a costume. I remove it. When you re-enter, you do not come down the same bird. New strength, new sight, new standards. Access reopens by application, not by history. If they ask for the front row, point them to the policy. Evidence before access. Past laughter does not purchase present loyalty. Show me application, honored boundaries, match discipline, storm behavior, and then we fly together. Say it out loud. History is not a key. Alignment is my key. Again, history is not a key. Alignment is my key. Lift your right hand and declare, I renew privately so I can soar publicly. Again, I renew privately so I can soar publicly. One more time with steel. I renew privately so I can soar publicly. Psalm 23 says, He restoreth my soul. Restoration precedes leadership. Isaiah promised, they shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. That is the public result of a private wait. Go to the mountain. Pluck what no longer serves. Eat, live food. Return with fresh feathers and a sharper beak. And when the next storm rises, you won't panic. You will remember your ledge. You will feel your new feathers catch, and you will ride where others only report the weather. Write this down, please. Elevation demands a calendar, a script, and a scoreboard. Install the law in 30 days. Psalm 90:12 says, teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. Number them now, or you will waste them later. Are there eagles in this room that do not clap at this calendar? Day 1 and day 2, inventory. Proverbs 27:23 says, be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks. Your flock is your inputs. Listen, your top 20 contacts, you spend the most time with people, podcasts, platforms. Not the ones you admire, the ones that get your minutes. Look at your call log, your text threads, your subscriptions, your commute audio, your lunch table. Write them down as they are, not as you wish them to be. This is not judgment, this is jurisdiction. Day 3, classify. Use the 5 tests: vision, values, appetite, altitude, storm, and label each: eagle, pigeon, duck, or vulture. No sentiment in scoring. By their fruits ye shall know them. Matthew 7:20. If they mock vision, peck at progress, crack complaints, or bring dead meat, label them honestly. If they lift, build, and glide in storms, crown them eagle. Truth is love with a backbone. Day 4 to day 7, decide. 3 exits, 3 upgrades, 3 boundaries. Exits. Choose 3 gracious distances and send the script, I love you, but access has changed. No attack, no debate, just policy. Upgrades. Identify 3 new eagle proximities, mentors, masterminds, training rooms, and initiate with coach me, test me, boundaries. Write 3 standards: office hours for access, a gossip embargo, response windows, and announce. We keep it live, no dead meat here. Aim was 3 to 3 agreement or distance. Week 2 to week 4, schedule it or it will never exist. Luke 14:28 says, which of you, intending to build, sit it not down first and count it the cost, count it in hours. Weekly eagle meal, 60 minutes. Same time every week. Training call or book study, live food only. Storm debrief, 30 minutes weekly with an eagle. What happened? What did it teach? 1 altitude action before next week. Skill sprint. 90 minutes focused skill building, or 20 minutes daily, calendar protected like surgery. Say it with me. If it's not on my calendar, it's not in my life. Again, if it's not on my calendar, it's not in my life. Habakkuk 2 to 2. Write it. Make it plain. Schedule it. Scoreboard every week, 3 metrics. Energy, rate your vitality 110 and note which associations raised or drained it. Execution, mark deliverables. Done 3 needles, you moved, not busy work. Elevation. Rooms entered, mentors met, tables sat at, invitations earned. What you measure multiplies, what you ignore decays. 1 Corinthians 9:24. Run to obtain and keep your times. Safeguard. Compassion without proximity. Serve many, sit close with few. Jesus fed thousands, trained 12, and climbed with 3. Love is a river, access is the gate. Keep your river open and your gate wise. Lift your right hand and declare, in the next 30 days, I install the law. I inventory. I classify. I decide. I schedule my eagle meal, my storm debrief, my skill sprint. I speak my scripts, I love you, but access has changed. Coach me, test me. We keep it live, no dead meat here. I track my energy, execution, and elevation. By day 30, my circle will predict my rise. Now calendar it, send it, and let your scoreboard prophesy your altitude. Write this down, please, as we seal it. My greatest wish for you is that you die empty. No songs unsung, no books unwritten, no businesses unbuilt, no inventions incarcerated in your skull because you nested with pigeons and fed on dead things. The wealthiest spot on earth is still the cemetery. Dreams that never flew, visions that never left the napkin, standards that were bargained away for cheap applause. Not you, not after today. Joshua 24:15 says, choose you this day whom ye will serve. Choice is covenant. Today we choose our company, and company predicts our completion. Stand up in your spirit and make this your vow. Say it with me, strong and clear. I am the rare breed called the eagle. I choose altitude company. Again, put steel in your spine. I am the rare breed called the eagle. I choose altitude company. Proverbs 13:20 declares, he that walketh with wise men shall be wise. Walk with eagles and you will not have to fake altitude. It will be your climate. Lift your right hand. I cut a covenant with standards over sentiment, with evidence over emotion, with purpose over popularity. I refuse to add to the wealth of the cemetery. Tell your neighbor, look him in the face, meet me at the top. Say it again with a smile, meet me at the top. And if they cannot agree, love them, bless them, and keep climbing. Because Amos 3:3 already asked, can two walk together except they be agreed? Agreement is our runway. Disagreement is not hatred. It is different destinations. From this day, your gate becomes sacred. Space love is a river. Access is a gate. And you are the keeper of both. Here is the final law I want etched in your mind. Success is predictable when company is intentional. Predict your tomorrow by protecting your today. Protect your today's hours. Protect your today's table. Protect your today's talk. What you seat beside you will live inside you. And what lives inside you will lead your tomorrow. Hold fast. Hebrews 10:23 says, let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering. For he is faithful that promised. Hold fast to your profession of eagle identity and the practices that prove it. Now give yourself a hand, not for noise, but for choice, because you have chosen standards over sentiment, assignment over approval, covenant over comfort. When you leave here, remove the thorns you've been tolerating. Send the scripts you wrote. Schedule the rooms that lift you, and step into the wind you were built to ride. And as you do, hear the scripture rise over you like an anthem. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. Isaiah 40:31. Mount up, my friends. Refuse the cemetery. Join the rare breed. Meet me at the top.